understand what do you think is the ideal time a, a guy or a candidate should spend in the first company before looking for a switch?
Some people switch in 6 months, some people switch in 1 year, 2 year. I have seen so many people switch in like 6 months also.
Right? So when did you decide, Lavi, enough is enough? Now I don't want to do everything by myself and break my head. Let's get a professional help.
I didn't apply to any of the jobs because I was so much frustrated after not getting any calls. And
So you have already cracked 2 offers and you're still in the process of other interviews as well. What do you actually think is a ground reality? Do you think really that is happening?
even though one company lays off, there are hundreds of companies which are hiring.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't get affected based on the result of one of the company. Your focus should be on the HRs which are hiring, not on the companies which are laying off or not hiring.
You spoke to a lot of HRs. You gave multiple interviews. So Gireesh, what do you think, Lavi, is the number one challenge you had to overcome?
That is where I think your mock interviews have helped me a lot. The major challenge with what I was having is how am I going to frame the answers for the questions they are going to ask.
So what do you want to tell those people who are sitting in a service-based organization with 1 to 3 years of experience?
Where exactly I have lacked.
Got it.
Like consistency, strategy, resume, HR questions.
Somebody wants you to plan a career in data engineering. So what is the simple roadmap they can follow? Okay, what kind of certifications they should start with from the basic levels, and what kind of projects they should work on. Hello guys, welcome to one more podcast in the Grow with Gireesh podcast series. So today we have Lavi Singh, who is currently as a data engineer working in a service-based company with more than almost 3 years of experience. So she recently transitioned into new organizations and cracked more than 2 offers in the less than 10 weeks of the time period. Okay, so let's understand what exactly the challenges she has faced in her journey and what exactly the strategy she has used to overcome it and what you can learn from her as a takeaway. Watch this podcast until the last minute so that you'll get all the insights what she's providing. So without making much delay, let's welcome Lavi Singh and let's understand what exactly her journey is. Cool. Hi, Lavi.
Yeah, hi Gireesh.
Thank you so much for doing the podcast, by the way. So basically, the agenda of doing this podcast, to give you context, Lavi, is to get insights. See, there are a lot of people who are struggling in terms of their careers. Maybe they're from your domain or from IT, stuck in the service-based companies. So they have a lot of limiting beliefs regarding their salary hike or the growth in terms of their career. So the main agenda of this podcast is to break that and give them understanding and strategies to overcome it. Cool. So I would request you to do that part in this podcast. Okay. So without wasting much delay, you can just please introduce yourself. Where are you from? What's your domain? What are you doing currently? And what you have done in the last 10 weeks? Yes.
So myself, Lavi Singh. I am from Raebareli, UP. I have done my graduation from Vanasthali University, Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Okay.
And after that, I started my career as an associate software engineer in Accenture.
Okay.
And currently, I'm working as a senior software engineer in Accenture with 3 years of experience in the same. Yeah. And within last 3 months, I have cracked more than 2 offers in the data engineering domain. And yeah.
Okay, got it. So what is the salary hike overall?
So the overall salary hike, it has been approximately 100% if I check out the figures basis on the initial package that I was having. Because recently only I got promoted to the senior software engineer position in Accenture as well.
Okay.
So yeah, before that only I was trying for the switch in the other companies for data engineering role.
Okay.
Yeah. So here in Accenture, my role is senior software engineer, where I'll be handling the data related and KPI related and the business intelligence related roles and responsibilities in Accenture.
Got it. Super. So how did you get into Accenture? Is it through campus placement or is it through offline interviews? How did you get into it?
Yeah, in Accenture, I got into I got through the campus placement only. So at that time, I had one organization from my ECE background only because I have done my engineering in electronics and communication.
Oh, you're not a computer science student.
No, I'm not a computer science student, and I was having an offer from an electronics, like my core domain based company as well, and then I had Accenture offer. But due to my in my last semester of college, I got to do some internships in different prestigious organizations like DRDO and IIT Kanpur. So there I explored more about the IT domain and how more about the IT domain mostly, and related to the data and all these things. So from there, basis on all those experiences, I chose to go ahead with the software engineering domain only.
Okay, great, interesting. Now, so you said how many years you have been stayed in Accenture?
It's been 3 years in Accenture so far.
Okay, it's a good amount of time, right? So just wanted to understand, like, how come you stayed in this? Because generally people shift after 1.5 to 2 years, right? So what made you to stay in the same organization for 3 years?
Yeah, so it's not like I have been trying to switch from, I think, last 1 year, but since like switching is a journey, right? You have to prepare, like it's a step by step journey. It's not like you thought and you can just start doing applying and you'll start getting the jobs. So I had focused on different things, like first of all, learning through the concepts, going through the concepts and all these things, like what would be exactly required when I'm switching. Because when you're working in a certain organization, you'll be working on a specific task, or
So it's
more
project
than
basically.
2-3 tasks. Yeah, it won't be like much of a diversified thing. But when you go into interviews and all, you have to cover different domains. Like if we talk about data engineering, then they'll be covering cloud and the projects and the languages you have used and how different things and the latest technologies as well. So yeah, I had to prepare about what is the latest in the market and the tools and technologies, and then preparing the resume, doing certifications, doing projects, all these things. So yeah, it took some amount of time, but I thought, like, even though I was applying for, I think before joining I was applying for 4-5 months, and I didn't receive any of the calls. So that was the challenge which I was facing, which took a lot of time to, like, in Accenture only.
Got it. Got it. So basically you try, it's not that you don't want to switch, but you're actually preparing yourself what exactly the technical skills is required, what exactly is the kind of diversified skill sets which is required to crack a high-paying job. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a right strategy. But just wanted to understand, what do you think is the ideal time a guy or a candidate should spend in the first company before looking for a switch?
I think there is no ideal time. It's like when you're focusing on learning in a particular organization, like whatever project you are working onto, if you want to understand the infra of that particular project, how the flow of that particular project is, then according to me, my focus was mostly on the learning, getting more hands-on what the project is, and how it is working and all these things. So once I got the complete idea of the complete flow, then I thought of switching, because then I knew that after this I'll have to just like, there is no growth in terms of I would say the tools and technologies, because whatever was already there, I have grasped all
just
that.
maintaining the things.
Yeah, I was just driving that ahead of it. So I just wanted to, since I am in initial years of my career. So I want to, like, explore different opportunities. I want to work on different projects. Along with that, I want to have a decent salary as well.
Obviously.
So, so these were the factors. Whenever you feel like your salary is not matching your, what are the expenditures
it's
you are
not matching
having,
with the amount of efforts you're keeping. It's just not reflecting.
amount of efforts and the expenditures you are having, if that is not also getting fulfilled, these are the factors. When you think I don't think there is an ideal time. Some people switch in 6 months, some people switch in 1 year, 2 year. I have seen so many people switch in like 6 months also, who are or like starting 3 months also. So it depends upon the different factors, like when we should switch. But we should definitely follow a proper strategy to switch. because if there is no strategy in a place, even if you're having a 5 years of good experience in a world-class projects, you're not going to get a good offer or not a
Yes.
single call also.
Yes. Yes.
So,
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the amount of experience you are holding. What matters is whether you have the required skill sets and the right
yeah,
strategies for the job shift.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's rightly said.
definitely.
Now let's get back to the previous story, not about the two offers or the 100% hike. Okay, you
Mhm.
said that you have tried yourself and you started the skill part, you started applying for the jobs by yourself, right? So tell me how does your job search journey used to look like before connecting with me? So what is your job search process used to look like?
So, in like what I started with first of all is getting my resume prepared in a proper way.
Mm-hmm.
For that, what I used to do, I used to like get the resume from my friends who have recently switched, and
Yes.
I used to like follow that same thing, like basis on my skill sets and experiences, all
Mm-hmm.
these things.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like first of all, I prepared my resume basis on all these
Factors.
examples which I was having,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think would affect that much. But yeah, coming to the next part, then I found myself the different like I used LinkedIn only to mostly LinkedIn and Naukri.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I used LinkedIn and Naukri to check out for the jobs and
Mhm.
whatever the skill sets were matching with my certifications,
You used to put
projects,
the
and
same filters, experience level, and
mm,
used to apply.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the thing is, I even though I applied to like more than 150 to 200 jobs, I didn't receive a call. So that was the challenge. I did this for 3 4 months, and even then, like I didn't receive the
Mm-hmm.
call. So what I did, I started with the certifications. Like I started doing the certifications. So I thought like that is one thing which is maybe missing in my resume. So after resume, I started with the certifications, and then after certifications, like first is resume, then you should have the proper skill sets to put in the resume, then proper projects you should have. Then if you want to justify your skills, you can definitely go ahead for certifications as well.
Okay. So when you're trying everything on your own and doing all these things, right? So on an average, you said you have applied 200 jobs, right? Approximately. So how many number of calls you used to receive?
Yeah, at that time, I didn't receive calls like any calls, I guess, when I started by myself.
Mhm.
Maybe it was because of consistency, because I used to like
Mhm.
apply for 1 2 days. I applied, and then
Then you are not
like
able
1 2 days
to.
I applied to so many jobs, and then I didn't apply to any one of them. Not updating Naukri or LinkedIn, any
Mhm.
of these platforms on a daily basis,
Mhm.
and not looking into my resume like what to change with different job descriptions. So maybe
Mhm.
these were the reasons
Mhm.
which I explored after
Mhm.
joining you, so
Got it.
that these
Understood.
could be
So,
the points.
so
Yeah.
you tried everything by yourself and you couldn't figure out something is missing. But of course, there is a lot of effort involved. But after putting a lot of effort, there is no result, which is equally for your effort. Okay, got it. Well, let's get back to the once you have gone through the past journey and everything. So, when did you decided that Girish, okay, Lavi, enough is enough. बहुत हो गया भाई. जॉब्स अप्लाई कर लिया, सर्टिफिकेशन कर लिया, प्रोजेक्ट्स कर लिया, अप्लाई कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, बट इवन इफ यू नॉट कंसिस्टेंट, अप्लाइंग 200 jobs is a very great amount of effort, right? So when did you decide, Lavi, enough is enough? Now I don't want to do everything by myself and break my head. Let's get a professional help. So what is this moment? And when did you, once you decided that, how did you reach out to me?
So there were three major factors, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think I joined you in April,
Yes.
and I remember complete March month. I didn't do like I didn't apply to any of the jobs because I was so much frustrated after not getting any calls.
Mm.
And after like since due to a lot of work in the current company, current project as well,
Mm-hmm.
and apart from that, like these, the third major factor was I was not having confidence on my resume.
Mm-hmm.
So these were the 3 points. First, like not being consistent. Secondly, I didn't try to manage the time. I didn't try
Along
to
with your full-time
figure
job,
out,
basically. Mm.
yeah, full
Mm.
time job, but I didn't used to plan things like
Yes.
this should be the schedule. This is the proper boundary for each of the tasks I'm having in my day. And then the third thing is definitely I was not having confidence on my resume. That's because I was not getting calls. So I didn't apply to the complete March month. And then in April, then again I started searching because I had to switch. And I took time for the complete March, and in April I just started again, and I started on the I did one more certifications, and after that I got to know that Sakshi Khandelwal, she is my friend, and she has joined you, and she has got an offer letter. So that was I thought I have invested 5 to 6 months after building the skill sets and resume. I have invested these many months and I have not got any results so far. Let's invest 3 more months with you, and I'll get to know at least what are the places where I'm lagging. Yeah. So the first thing which after getting in a call with you, the first thing which I got, which gained my confidence was even if I was not having confidence on my resume, you had. So that is one thing which helps you get consistent on your efforts.
Correct.
So that was one thing, when you showed the confidence on my resume and my skill sets, and then I got a confidence that if he's trusting and he has the result, even my friend, one of the closest friends from my college, she got and she gave me the most raw feedback. So these were the things where which motivated me to join you. And even though I tried all my cards,
works. So it's a hard way, but I think you have got into the right space. Okay. Well, let's see. Now let me ask you, before I talk about our journey, I want to ask you one more question, right? So I think you have recently heard the statements like stock market has crashed, recession is coming, nobody is hiring, you're not able to get a switch, wait for some more time, take the less. All these things are which you have been hearing, because a lot of people tell me this, right? So you have already cracked 2 offers and you're still in the process of other interviews as well. What do you actually think is a ground reality? Do you think really that is happening? Or yes, if it is happening, what should somebody do to overlook this and get what you have done?
Yeah. So I think you only told me that I was having this question why are we not getting calls, and is there recession? Is it going to affect? You said, I think I remember this conversation where I asked you, and you said the only point we should focus on is our efforts.
Yes.
And jobs are gonna be there. Jobs are there, and jobs were there. Okay. And even if recession comes, it's not like there wouldn't be any companies which will be hiring or not hiring and all these things, all these stuffs. Because even though one company lays off, there are hundreds of companies which are hiring.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't get affected based on the result of one of the company. If you are having confidence on your skill set, if you are having confidence on your resume, how you have put your skill set, if you are having confidence on your strategy, that how you are approaching to the HR,
correct,
how you are convincing them, how you are managing to get the referrals, and how you are maintaining your portfolio over Naukri and LinkedIn, and you have a strong foundation okay, to show up to the HRs which are hiring. Your focus should be on the HRs which are hiring, not on the companies which are laying off or not hiring. So this is one thing which I got to know from you only, and that is what I think everyone should focus on, the openings, not on the layoffs which are happening.
Got it.
Definitely we should look why the layoffs are happening, but it shouldn't
it shouldn't be the deciding factor for you to move forward.
Shouldn't shake our confidence so that we are losing the consistency and we are not maintaining the basics and roots which have helped us to get the calls, which can help us to get the calls. So the only thing I think we should focus on is on our efforts, and we should be consistent on our efforts. That is.
Let me just give you a number to the consistency and efforts, right? Guys, if you're not aware of it, Lavi has actually applied for a lot of jobs, I think approximately around 50, 60 for a period of 36 to 37 days. And I still remember she didn't get any calls. Right. And she, like, as she told me right now, she told me that, like, see what's happening, because everything is there, resume is optimized, certifications are there, projects are, why I'm not getting calls? So the same statement which she has actually implemented is consistent, being consistent. And in the next week, she got 4 interviews scheduled. And in the next week, she has an offer letter. So why am I putting this number here? To make you understand that 45 days of effort is not wasted, guys. The 45 days effort is like a seed. It is growing inside. Now she got the results. I think it's a very good point, Lavi, which you have highlighted. Because of that strategy, I think, guys, consistency is a strategy. She's able to crack it. So thank you so much for highlighting that also. Now, let me come to one more important question. So in this whole, you have seen the hiring right now. You spoke to a lot of HRs. You gave multiple interviews. So Gireesh, what do you think, Lavi, is the number one challenge you had to overcome to crack these 2-3 offers? Whether it is technical, whether it is psychological, anything can be. What do you think, Gireesh? This is something I fixed in myself. I'm able to get the results. What is that one fault?
I think the most important thing is how you are, like, after checking your resume, HR is going to reach out to you. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
how you are presenting yourself in that first call is going to be a deciding factors on the coming rounds.
Super.
Yeah. So that is one of the thing which, because of, like, that was the major fear I was having, like,
How
before
to talk
applying
to that HR.
jobs. Yeah. How I'm going to handle that call so that I'm not ruining the current coming processes, or, like, because this is a deciding factor. If you say
Of course.
anything wrong or anything irrelevant, they are not going to come back, definitely.
Correct.
And so that is where I think your mock interviews have helped me a lot. And that is where your support as well, like, whatever doubts, anytime I was having any kind of doubts, like, Gireesh, what if they ask me this, what if they ask me that?
Correct.
So the major challenge with what I was having is how am I going to frame the answers for the questions they are going to ask.
Got it.
Because those are going to be impromptu questions.
Yes.
There could be anyone taking your interview. That can be an associate data engineer from a company, or a CEO of the company. If you know how to frame the answers, you are not going to get afraid, like, who is taking your interview. You are going to focus on your answer. That is what you should do, because that is what you can control. You cannot control the panel, that who is going to be in the panel.
Yes.
So the out of the complete series which I have got from you, for the strategies and everything, the one thing which has helped me, like, the top one thing which has helped me a lot is mock interviews and the interview questions. How are we going to handle the HRs and
objections? HR objections कैसे handle करें?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that is the and that is, I think, very important also, because that is, if you don't know how to frame the answer, even if you know the answer, you're not going to get it delivered properly.
Got it.
So yeah, that is one thing.
Superb. So as I said, whatever I've also suggested you have implemented, that would be the ultimate concept, right? Because the guidance is the same. Gireesh will provide the same guidance to each and every person. People who implement it will get the results. People who are not implementing will not get the results, right? Very, and very, very clearly explained, Lavi. Last two more questions before we wind up, right? So just wanted to understand. So I think we have closely worked for 90 days approximately.
Yeah.
Right. So see, like as you said, right, there are a lot of people right now who will be watching with this video who are decided or who have been told by their managers or their colleagues that आपके साथ इतना hike नहीं मिलेगा. You will not capable enough of getting that 100% hike because of all the XYZ factors we have decided. So what do you want to tell those people who are sitting in a service-based organization with 1 to 3 years of experience, not getting the growth they deserve, but they have very good skill sets like you? So what is the one thing that you are suggesting them? And why should they take a professional help like career coaching services, not from Gireesh, from anybody example? Because external support, why do you think they didn't have external support to crack that high paying CTC faster?
I think the support, I would go along with, like, as I told, I'll say, based on my experience. I focused a lot on skill sets and learning in my. So I would again go ahead with my experience only, because there in Accenture also I have tried to focus on the learnings and try to understand the project and the skill sets, what can be used doing R&D and all these things. So it requires a lot of effort. Like,
Yes.
most of the times what happens, 9 hours are not enough. You have to sit extra for that.
Yes.
What happens with this, like, because of this is you're not getting enough time to figure out like what should be good in your resume, how your resume should look, how your LinkedIn profile should look,
Yes.
how you, what it should be the strategy. Are you consistent enough to apply daily to the jobs? Are you having time to like reach out to the HRs and all these things to follow up with them? What you should like, how you should frame the answers, and all these things which we have covered in your modules as well. Like how we should answer to the HR. This requires a proper amount of effort and time. If you are focusing parallelly in your project and I started as a fresher, okay, so I needed a good amount of time in my skill sets because my background was ECE, so it was not like completely. So that is what, if we are focusing on something related to skill sets and certifications and all these things, it becomes somewhat difficult to figure out all these things by yourself. Being consistent.
Yes.
So being consistent is very important factor, but proper strategy, figuring out the proper strategy. So yeah, that is where I wanted to seek help from you. That what is going wrong? Where am I like missing or lagging, due to which I'm not getting the calls? And I figured it out after joining you, like where exactly I have lagged.
Got it.
Like consistency, strategy, resume, HR questions, all these things, negotiations. So yeah, these are the areas where anyone should
Focus on.
definitely seek help. And now also, if like I am consistent on LinkedIn, right? And there are few of my friends who will be asking like how you did it. So most of their questions will be related to these only. What strategy did you follow? What how is your resume that it got selected? And what are you saying to the HRs if they are coming to you?
They'll not run away and ghost you.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
So yeah, these are the points which definitely, these are the points where definitely you should try to seek help and get the best for you.
Cool. Works. Fine, Lavi. Last two questions. We're gonna finish the podcast. Okay, now let's talk about your domain, data engineering. Okay, because there are a lot of people who want to get into data roles, because that is booming right now, data science and artificial intelligence and machine learning. So let's say if somebody wants to plan a career in data engineering role, so what are the simple roadmap they can follow? Okay, what kind of certifications they should start with from the basic levels, and what kind of projects they should work on? You can just, if that can be said from yourself, that will, a lot of people will get help from that.
Okay, so the first thing is related to data engineering. If we are like, if someone who is preparing, like how I started preparing for data engineer.
Yes.
Like switch, right? So first thing where I focused is what are the concepts, data engineering concepts. There are different type of concepts like data warehousing, extract, transform, load, and different concepts are there related to that. We should definitely try to understand those concepts first of all, because those concepts are the main thing which are going to tell you like what exactly you are going to do in data engineer role.
Correct.
After that, we should definitely try to check on the technical skills like SQL, Python, PySpark, and Scala. Anything which you are comfortable with, like out of other languages like PySpark, Scala. But yeah, SQL is mandatory. You should have it. You should know about it, and that Python, that is also very important. PySpark.
So this is for the entry level. Entry level also is required.
It depends, how much years of work experience they are having.
Okay, got it.
So
understood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we should definitely try to get a good grasp on those skills, and then after that, once you have learned the basic programming things, you should definitely go ahead with the cloud services which we are having for data engineering. There are different cloud platforms where there are different data engineering services available, data engineering related services available. So you can go ahead and learn anything from Azure, AWS, or GCP. These are the major players. So apart from that, once you have understood and practiced, most importantly, practiced on these platforms, go ahead and build 1-2 projects, and to get a good hands-on on all these concepts and the programming language and the cloud platform you have learned about. Once the project is done, if you want to justify your skill sets, go ahead and do the certifications.
Okay, got it. So basically the formula is certifications, projects, certifications to get the knowledge and understanding of the concept, projects.
I think it will justify that one, that you are having the skill sets. Let's say you worked on Databricks, right? So in Databricks, you are having platform knowledge, you are very good in whatever implementing it into the project and all these things, like utilizing Databricks into the project. But sometimes what happens, you cannot put everything onto the resume, right?
Yes.
These are the things you have done. So if you have done the Databricks certifications, that is definitely going to justify these are the skill sets you are having.
So relevant certifications, relevant projects, and getting the hands-on is more important. Can we put it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really a very clear roadmap I've understood. I hope most people will get it, because a lot of people are actually looking for data roles, data engineering, data analyst, and all this kind of roles. This would be really helpful for them. So with that being said, Lavi, so I think I don't have any more questions to ask you. I think you have provided a ton of value from the strategies you have used, kind of mindset you have carried through the through the job search journey, and even what are the technical skill sets you have learned to crack the data engineering roles. So with that being said, guys, so before I wind up this session, I just want to tell one thing to all the people who are watching this podcast. Okay, so as Lavi Singh has already said, we don't have the control over the market, the layoffs, or the stock market crashes. The only thing we have in the control is your skill set, and using that skill set to use the right strategies.